Welcome to a world where luxury isn't loud and elegance isn't exaggerated. In this episode, we explore the understated world of soft minimalism, a movement within modern architecture that blends calm, comfort, and clean lines. These are homes that speak softly but leave a lasting impression. Let's step inside. Soft minimalism is a refined design philosophy that simplifies forms while embracing warmth and texture. Unlike traditional minimalism that leans toward cold austerity, soft minimalism incorporates tactile materials, subdued palettes, and inviting spaces. It's where restraint meets richness, and simplicity feels sumptuous. At its core, soft minimalism is about intentional living. Every space is curated, not for show but for serenity. It's about reducing visual clutter while heightening emotional comfort. The homes are quiet by design, encouraging mindfulness and presence through spatial harmony. In these homes, materials do the talking. Think natural oak, travertine stone, brushed brass, soft boucle fabrics, and textured concrete. They create a tactile landscape, drawing you in without ever needing to shout. These elements combine to produce a calm, cohesive narrative throughout the home. The color palette of soft minimalist homes revolves around earth tones, creams, beiges, and warm grays. These hues don't demand attention, they invite reflection. When paired with the right lighting and materials, even the quietest tones can evoke deep emotional resonance. These homes are designed with airiness in mind. High ceilings, generous spacing, and floor-to-ceiling windows allow light and air to flow naturally. The architecture isn't just about walls and roofs, it's about how space feels. There's a rhythm to the layout that mirrors calmness. Natural light is a cornerstone of soft minimalist homes. Rather than being used dramatically, it is diffused softly across surfaces, creating gentle shadows, soft reflections, and dynamic changes throughout the day. The lighting enhances the texture and materials, adding emotional depth to the simplicity. Furniture in these homes doesn't demand attention, it earns it. Curved forms, low profiles, and organic shapes dominate. Designers opt for plush, tactile upholstery that invites touch and comfort, proving that minimalism doesn't have to be rigid or stark. The floor plans are often open but always thoughtful. Instead of vast empty spaces, you'll find cozy alcoves, curated reading nooks, and low-slung lounges. The openness serves flow, while zoning and levels add layers of intimacy and purpose. Forget chrome and gloss. Soft minimalist kitchens favor matte finishes, natural stone countertops, concealed appliances, and handleless cabinetry. They feel like extensions of the living space rather than functional interruptions, places where culinary art and design coexist in quiet harmony. Bathrooms are transformed into private retreats. Think plastered walls, soft lighting, natural stone basins, and brushed metal fixtures. Every surface is crafted to feel like part of a spa, offering comfort, elegance, and simplicity in perfect balance. The bedrooms in soft minimalist homes feel like sanctuaries. Upholstered headboards, layered linen bedding, textured area rugs, and integrated lighting set a mood of total rest. There's an emotional softness that encourages both mental clarity and deep relaxation. Art in these spaces isn't always traditional. Instead of bold canvases, you'll often find sculptural forms, wall textures, and elemental pieces. These works echo the architecture, calm, abstract, and deeply connected to nature and materiality. Texture is where soft minimalism truly thrives. From lime-wash walls to fluted wood panels and boucle upholstery, the richness comes from touch. These tactile details bring layers of interest that replace the need for visual noise or excessive decor. The connection between indoors and outdoors is seamless. Landscaping mirrors the home's ethos, curated but organic. Grasses sway gently, stone paths lead to quiet corners, and water features offer gentle soundscapes that deepen the home's serenity. Soft minimalism also considers how a home sounds. Thick drapery, wall treatments, soft rugs, and upholstered furniture help absorb noise, reducing echo. The result is not just visual calm but acoustic tranquility, elevating the luxury experience. Technology in these homes is sophisticated but discreet. Smart lighting, climate control, and home automation are all present, yet hidden. Design is never compromised by tech, but rather enhanced by its seamless integration into the background. Storage is elegantly concealed. Instead of open shelving or bulky wardrobes, there are custom-built units that blend into the architecture. This maintains visual purity and ensures every object has a place, fostering both luxury and mental ease. One of the best examples of soft minimalism is the Lisbon stone house. With its travertine facade, warm oak interiors, and sculptural staircase, it embodies everything this aesthetic stands for: warmth, simplicity, and natural elegance in every corner. This Los Angeles residence borrows from Japanese architecture. With its shoji-style partitions, tactile plaster walls, and sunken seating areas, it demonstrates how East meets West in a quiet, luxurious conversation of design. Beyond daylight, soft minimalist homes use layered artificial lighting. Indirect LEDs, recessed fixtures, and soft uplights add dimension after sunset. This creates a warm, cinematic glow that complements the natural textures throughout the home. Even the ceilings get thoughtful treatment. From timber slats to hidden cove lighting, they're not afterthoughts. They help define zones, create intimacy, and subtly enhance vertical space, adding to the overall softness of the design. The entrance to a soft minimalist home is more than a threshold. It's an introduction. With natural textures, clean lines, and ambient lighting, it offers a quiet transition from the outer world into a space of intentional calm. Interior hallways are designed to evoke curiosity. Narrow but not confined, they often feature linear lighting, texture-rich walls, and framed views to outdoor courtyards or interior focal points, turning movement into a meditative experience. Modern fireplaces in soft minimalist homes are architectural features. Often linear, embedded in stone or plaster, they provide gentle warmth and ambient glow. They serve not only as heating elements, but as emotive design pieces. In these homes, even daily rituals feel elevated. From making coffee in a serene kitchen to unwinding in a calming reading nook, every moment is enriched by thoughtful design. Luxury here isn't occasional. It's constant, quiet, and lived in. Contrary to common belief, soft minimalism can work beautifully for families. Natural, durable materials and soft textures make it welcoming for children, while the calm environment nurtures creativity and emotional regulation from a young age. Many soft minimalist homes are also deeply sustainable. From passive solar design to natural insulation and locally sourced materials, the elegance isn't just skin deep. It's environmentally conscious and future-ready. Trends come and go, but soft minimalism feels eternal. It taps into our basic human desires for calm, comfort, connection, and clarity. Its luxury isn't based on opulence, but on presence. That's what makes it timeless. Soft minimalism doesn't scream for attention. It earns it quietly. It shows us that true luxury is about how a space makes us feel, not how much it dazzles. In a loud world, these homes are a soft whisper of sophistication, an architectural love letter to stillness and style.